White Beatmaker.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good evening, listeners. Welcome to the fourth episode on Hijab. With me here, I had the honor of inviting a guest, a friend by name Maimuna Muhammad Bashir, where she will join me in discussing the topic we'll be treating today, which is the why of hijab. So Maimuna, over to you. Please do introduce yourself.
Good evening, listener. My name is Maimuna Muhammad Bashir. I'm from Niger State, a community health practitioner by profession.
Okay, thank you very much, Maimuna, for the introduction. The topic we'll be discussing today is the why of hijab. Why do we need hijab? Why does a person need to wear the hijab? Maimuna, what can you tell us about it, your views on the why of hijab?
Assalamu alaikum. Why do we need hijab? We need hijab because it's a barrier. Hijab is a protection, and also hijab is an identity. Hijab protects you and holds all the body. The hijab also protects all your al-awra except the face, the palm, the feet, which are allowed in Islam. Just take for instance, if you are dressed decent, the hijab protects you from committing a sin or attracting people, especially those that are not your mahram. That is the protection for the hijab. So we need hijab in this aspect. We also need hijab as an identity because it identifies who you are. The hijab also identifies who you are. Also, the hijab deserves how you should be respectful in the society. People identify you as a responsible person in the society due to the way you appear or due to the way you dress. So, this is the reason why we need hijab. Wearing hijab does not mean you should wear hijab from head to toe. No. Despite the fact you will dress decent, you are on hijab. This is all what I can say on why do we need hijab.
Okay, Maimuna, you made mention of identification in hijab.
Yeah.
You said hijab helps in identification. It shows identity.
Yes.
Please, would like to hear more elaboration on that.
Okay. Hijab identifies you. As a Muslim, the hijab identifies who you are due to your dressing. And the hijab also makes people to identify you as a responsible person in the society. The hijab brings some courage to you that makes people to identify you as a responsible person, and you understand?
Okay, you made mention of the hijab identifies a person as Muslim. So I would like to ask you this question. You mean the hijab then it's only for the Muslims?
The hijab is not meant for the Muslim, but due to your appearance, there is different kind of appearance on the hijab. All what we know on hijab is covering and is also a barrier. And the hijab can even differentiate you between Muslim and Christian due to your appearance, because the way a Muslim will appear is different from the way the Christian will appear. Different mode of appearance. That's what we differentiate them between the Muslim and the Christian through their appearance.
Well, I think here I would disagree a bit. So yes,
Okay.
hijab, if you say hijab as a cloth, as a garment, okay, fine. Then I will say, okay, yes, Muslims use the hijab. But if you know the nuns, the Christian nuns, their dresses, it's more of the hijab. They don't wear tight dresses. If you know the nuns' dresses, so they are covering themselves. As long as, okay, if you look at the literal meaning of hijab, if it's covering, if it is a shield, then hijab is not only for the Muslims. You can't say you differentiate a Muslim from a Christian with just dressing. Because I think in this era, some Christians dress perfectly, much better than some Muslims.
Yes.
So I think maybe yes, pertaining identity, yes, Mainly, hijab is being used by Muslims, but in all religions, hijab pertaining clothing is modesty, modest dressing, and all religion encourages modest dressing.
All religion encourage modern dressing, but due to civilization, Muslims, the Christians do practice on hijab. Their mode of dressing. They do not even wear tight clothes, but now due to the civilization, they do wear tight clothes. So there is a big difference between Muslim and Christian through their identity.
Yes, and I think that should not be a reason or a case where people will be differentiating people based on their dressing. Because for some people, you see someone dressing decently, all in hijab, and you'll be like, okay, that person is a Muslim. That person might not necessarily be a Muslim. But then because that person's religion teaches him to cover, that person feels much better to cover. And again, just like you said, it's for protection. If a person dressed decently, from even evil bad eye, from all those irresponsible guys, even for a guy, if you dress decently, you won't attract an irresponsible lady. Because we have those ladies that go after guys.
Yes.
And yes, so it's for protection.
I
would like to add a little bit to the wise of hijab. We become advocates of our religion. It's like you're advocating for a religion. If you use the hijab properly, you're advocating what your religion is. What does it entail? Yes, it advises you to dress very well. It advises you to act in a right behavior. You're advocating what it entails. And also, like you said, it reminds us of who we are. When you use the hijab, there are things you won't even do because you know that the hijab is in you. And if you're wearing it, it's on you. So you won't really go down to doing some behaviors which it will be an insult to that hijab. Though in this era, people don't really mind. You could see someone dancing anyhow with hijab. They don't really mind, but at least to some extent, it limits a person from doing certain bad behaviors. And the one important reason again of using the hijab, most especially for the married woman, is to keep what is meant for their spouses hidden. Like most especially in Islam, a married woman, everything of hers is supposed to be enclosed, is supposed to be shied away from other people.
Yes.
So I think it's another reason why a person needs the hijab. And also it's for comfort. There's this comfort in hijab, like you feel safe if you are dressed modestly, like not necessarily wearing our big hijab, but if your dress isn't too tight, there's this comfort. You feel safe walking, comfortable, and most people will admire you.
Yes.
All like those, because if you keep a person who is dressed tightly and a person who isn't dressed, some people, like some guys will say, okay, fine, for a lady, yes, I shape her out and that girl looks more beautiful. But then ask him, who does he want to carry as a wife? He'll tell you, he wants the one who is covered. It's just like an open biscuit and a closed biscuit. Who would want an open biscuit? You don't really know all the flies that have touched the biscuit. Everyone would go for the covered biscuit.
Okay.
So, and I think again, one of the reasons is to defend ourselves. At least to defend ourselves from everything and everyone. When you're on hijab, nobody would disrespect you, like you said. And yes, you're defending your own self. It gives you strength, inner strength. Just look at it. You and a lady who are working together and you're dressed properly and she isn't. Like guys, naturally, they will approach her. They can say anything dirty to her, but you would they have to save the words they use with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, these are...
The hijab also protect all our aura. So I think it's just except the face, the palm, and the feet, and which are allowed in Islam.
Yes,
to expose them.
Only the palm, feet, face are allowed. But these days, you
Yeah,
even
we
see a
allow.
person, the neck open, the hair open, and they will tell you, yeah, beautification. Yeah, but it's all wrong. There's a way a hijab is supposed to be, and a way how a hijab is supposed to be worn if it is a cloth. But maybe that will be a topic for another day. So, Maimuna, do you have anything more to add, an advice or anything?
The advice I have here is just, we should know that the hijab, for you wearing hijab, that does not mean you can wear hijab from head to toe. No. So you just have to wear a cloth that is not tight, despite you are dressed properly. That means you are on hijab. And this hijab, the aim of this hijab, or the view of the hijab, is just like, the hijab is like arousing the interest of people. Hijab is arousing the interest, convince the people to actively involve in changing their behavior.
Yes. Honestly, hijab actually changes people's behavior, since it refrains one from doing certain behaviors. So, is there anything more?
For now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honoring our invite. Thank you very much. Really appreciate, and we hope the people listening will at least endeavor to reason with the why of hijab. And listeners out there, if you have anything you would like to add, suggest, please, the numbers are there. Because the whys of hijab are much, and there might be a reason we didn't touch or we didn't talk about. Maimuna, have a great day. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You asked why you need a hijab, and I'll tell you. So many reasons are attached to the why of hijab. It is for our protection from evil eye, from bad behaviors, for our composure, for comfort, for beautification, to look responsible, to be admired, to fulfill our deen, to serve as a role model, to uplift ourselves and personality, to showcase our religion through modesty, to defend ourselves through good dressing and attitude, to portray our religion through good teaching, to portray our culture and family, to be advocates of our religion, to avoid other genders' misbehavior, to remind us of who we are, for the married to protect their body, to keep what is meant for their spouses hidden. We have so many reasons to the why of hijab, and the why of hijab is for everyone. And with this, we have come to the end of this week's episode on hijab. I hope you enjoyed it. I also have 2 announcements to make. The first is, I'll be releasing an episode daily throughout the month of Ramadan, but there will be an adjustment to the time. Instead of 8 p.m., it will be released by 9 p.m. inshallah. Secondly, due to advices from people and after thorough consideration and thought, I'll be starting the Hausa version of hijab, inshallah, which will be kickstarting hopefully during Ramadan. Then finally, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so that you'll be notified whenever a new episode is being released. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Do have a wonderful night.